me tell you this, man. I know RH knows about anything has made a lot of noise. He is watching. So, whether you want to say that HOA noise is made in that regard, whether it's teddy bear, Atropa, P dot, like he knows everything that's going on with the chain. So I think he knows about teddy bear. I think he knows about
100%.
HOA. I think he knows about Atropa. I think he knows about P dot. Anything that has volume and being talked about, he knows. If you have some sort of follower talking about follower account, or some type of following talking about his platform, he knows. He knows about me going on to Crypto Ran last week. He knows about Teddy Bear. He knows about it all. So if you think he doesn't know, like I know for a fact he knows. So he knows. He
Right.
can only say so much. Remember, he
I
doesn't
agree.
want to. He doesn't. He's been saying that since the beginning. He doesn't want to be the guy. He tried to, and he totally screwed it up. But like, he doesn't want to be the guy that keeps like saying things, and then people go buy it, and then like, because it's not built by him, or maybe it's not. We don't know. But he's playing that card where it's like, I don't want people going into them, but he needs to find a way to talk about, rather do something to gather some excitement, because you'd be boring as if you didn't talk about anything that's going on your chain. Like, that's just not promoting. He's going to have to find a way to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Like, he definitely knows about this stuff. He would be, like you said, he'd be dumb to not know about this stuff. And we know he's not dumb. And he also can't, again, like you said, can't just go out and promote these things that he didn't build. Somebody gets wrecked, then, that's on his shoulders. But if you guys paid attention to that hour and 22 minutes that he put out, he spent about 40 minutes talking about the SEC and how Gary Gensler's a piece. So most of that rant was about, letting you know that he's got a team and he's confident about what's going on with the SEC. And he had to put together a few things to keep the community happy with, hey, I'm here I am, guys.
Yeah.
After this bull market, do you believe that the price of post chain can settle above a penny, or do you think that it will have to be another bull market in order for that to happen before it just sits at a penny comfortably?
Ooh, a penny. That's a lot. A lot of burning has to be done.
Right.
There will always be an 85 to 95% drop. I do think that's happening. In the first, here we go. In the first, see, you can argue this because Hex is not in his first bull market, and the liquidity is tied to it. So I actually could speculate that this is actually Pulse Chain's second cycle. A lot of people won't look at it that way, but
Well, you can if you consider hex. If you consider hex, you can.
well, yeah, you gotta consider Hex. You gotta consider all the money that was put in the Hex. You gotta consider the liquidity paired between the two.
And then it's a
That Hex
full
is
fork of Ethereum. It's a
yes.
full
So
fork of Ethereum.
therefore, yeah. So therefore, it doesn't have a 95% drop, and it surprises everybody. So that is possible,
I see that.
but it's speculative. So I can't. You know,
Well,
I'll
well,
tell you
that, well,
this.
that
I'll
kind
tell
of,
you this
well,
right
that
now.
kind
Mando and I were talking about, say, about a year and a half ago, and I said it
of,
is possible that Hex would go to 0.003, but neither of us believed it because that was at 20
Hey,
cents. The buys are getting less and less and less and less. So the bull markets aren't as high, the bear markets aren't as low. So per cycle that you have, your highs isn't going to. I'm sorry, I don't see Hex doing another 10,000x.
well,
So like.
I'm
I,
okay. I'm okay with
I don't.
1,011.
I know, but it's just giving you the idea. Like, I don't see it happening that.
It better,
But
it better
the
make,
next,
it
but
better
the
make
next bear
10,011.
market, compared to what the OA has and what he's going to have, and going through the next bear market through emergency unstakes and all that stuff, I don't see Hex dropping 99%. Same concept.
Yeah. So they're all
So
here.
post
Really, they're
chain,
all here to
the
stay.
gentleman asked for post chain. Do you see a big, back to his question? Do you see a massive, huge dip in post chain? Well, if I consider this to be a possible second bull market for Pulse Chain based on the tokenomics and based on, how everything went through, we might not see a 95% drop in Pulse Chain. You might see a 80% drop in Pulse Chain. Exchanges, you can definitely make an argument for exchanges, but in a way, it's not really needed because what's going to happen on the exchanges is somebody has to give up that pulse to be on the exchanges. Those exchanges are not buying Pulsechain. I can promise you that. They are not going to buy it with their own bags. Somebody is going to give their bag of Pulsechain or a collective of Pulsechain to the exchange, and therefore the exchange just basically trades it amongst themselves, or when people does the exchange. That really, all that is just a change of hands, but we're paying for that. So if you think the idea of we're going to get listed for free, and that whole idea of you get listed for free, that is a very false narrative, unless you are doing a massive amount of volume and they've got no choice but to list you, because business is business. So for the longest time, they were not listing SHIB because of the meme coin scenario. But when they saw the volume and the miners were killing it in volume, they had no choice but to list it then. We're not there yet. We're far from that. But right now, it's you're going to give them your pulse if you want to be on exchanges. Or you have to create so much volume that they have no choice but to buy it, because the amount of money makes sense financially to buy it and then bring it on exchange, get the hype going on the exchange, and then everyone brings their money over to the exchange, and now you have an ability to get more pulse through that way. If it doesn't make financial sense, you are going to pay for it. So I just don't. I personally don't even think it matters, but only exchange that truly matters is Kraken, Coinbase, Binance. Outside of that, nobody else matters. But you can get on Kraken, you can get on Coinbase, you can get on Binance if you're willing to pay for it. I guarantee you, if I come to Binance with $3 million, they will list Pulsechain. How long? I don't know. I don't know how long they'll do it, but money talks.
Well, if you look at when you went on the Crypto Banter show, and which was on December 18th, and you talked about the value of Pulsechain and how it's the most undervalued L1 out there, and it was a meme coin show, so you obviously talked about Teddy being the largest market cap token. If you look at the chart of Pulsechain and you look at the chart of Teddy and you look at the wallets, thousands of new wallets came in within 24 to 36 hours. And Pulsechain went up a nice percentage in price from one individual talking about Pulsechain and just framing it in a positive, professional way, not selling it like a sleazeball salesman or telling people that these other chains suck. Double, like, but to what you're saying, he didn't go on and bash the other things to get it done.
That's where I think that Richard Hart is going to come back and change, because he's gotten that feedback when he was streaming and everything. So everyone thinks he's going to come back the way he was. No, the main feedback he got when he was on those spaces calls is like, we listen to you, we want to listen to you, but you got to give us time, like time to talk. You got to stop talking over us. You got to stop cursing. You got to stop doing this. So like basically what you saw, if Richard Hart does that, and I believe he will do that, it's gonna be night and day, man. You're gonna like, I guarantee you, it's going to be night and day. And I do believe Richard Hart saw this show, and I do believe he sees what money came in, and I do believe he's gonna see, okay, let me take notes for that, because he's not stupid. So like, he's going to see that, and I think even before I got on there, I believe that's how he was going to change over anyway. So like, I'm not going to take any credit for that, but the point is you have to make a splash, and once that splash is done, you usually get one opportunity, and if you hit a home run with that opportunity, more opportunities come about that. Actually, the next show, I might as well let it out there, is Kyle Chassis. Like, we're plotting a show together, so that's another 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's going to be next. So probably within the next week or so, that's going to be the next video. But that came of that, So it's kind of a, you got a follow from him, and then he speaks out. I know he's big on Solana. You throw a bet out there, boom. Instead of me paying a bunch of money to freaking go to NASCAR and all this thing, I just made a $10,000 bet that I know I'm going to win, and I lured you in, and I got you. Now let's make a stream about it. Cool. Absolutely. We're friends. Cool. Like, it's a friendly bet. But in the end, it's going to be good content for Solana holders. It'll be good content for Pulse Chain holders, and then you're going to see fireworks. On both sides. I think it's going to be fireworks for the Solana people. I think it's going to be fireworks for Pulsechain people. But the point is now it's in more eyes. So you make that splash however you choose to do it. You know, everyone has their different ways of doing it, but you have to go outside the ecosystem. Making splashes within your ecosystem does absolutely nothing. You got to go outside.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. There's no point in taking big old boulders and throwing them in your own into your own pool.
And that's why I was so outspoken about some of the stuff that was being done during the bear market. It was like, man, why are you so negative? It's so I was like, bro, because this doesn't work. Like, you gotta see that, like, it's not going to work. You're not getting anybody. Oh, we got a couple people. It's like, congratulations, you spent all this money on a NASCAR car. It was cool and all, but like, who did you get out of it? So, like, that's the
Did you
stuff.
guys get to drive it?
I don't even know. I wasn't there. I was completely against it. I didn't spend a single cent on that. The
Richard
movie.
got super pissed because they lost. Made him look bad.
Well, not even that. I think the people that were like arguing with me when he said the exact same thing in the Spaces call, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, like Richard, you're right. You're 100% right." And I was like, "Weren't you just arguing with me literally like the other day about how I was wrong?" And now he said the exact same thing, and now you're like down on his knees, like sucking them off right now. It's just like, come on, y'all, man.
You just
Like,
gotta detach yourself from the dudes that always start the sentence with "but Richard said." You know what I mean? Like,
it's like, come on, guys. Like, speak for yourself, look for yourself, go out, do something completely different. But in the end, man, like you gotta, you just gotta make that splash. Once you make that splash, like it's just a waterfall of opportunity, and you just gotta make something of it. I want to get trolled by Solana people. Like that is greatness because what that does is that brings eyes. Troll
what
me.
a
I will
legend,
not
dude. He
block
said,
you.
"Bring the fucking arrows, send the
I will
swords."
not block you. I've got plenty of thick skin if I see you are all about Solana. Why? Because I know it's going to bring eyes. And anyone else, I block you. If you're not talking about Solana, you can get blocked. But if you're on Solana, like I'm trolling you, you're trolling me, all is cool. Like please come, please get trolled because it's going to bring eyes. And then I know that you might not talk about it. You might not tweet about it. But I know once you start seeing green candles, you're going to start thinking about it. And that's all I need. Because I will win that battle when it comes to hype. When it comes to hype, I will win that battle.
Mic drop.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot. There's like a lot of even secret stuff. So I calculated here. I'll do this post today where I calculated like 8% of the tokens in liquidity. But there are tokens that I like that aren't even in like that I even missed. Like there's I think it's a legal and teddy bear pair that has like an extra 86,000 in liquidity. It's like wait, what the heck? So
With the thing with like Teddy and Pulse, so this is something that I like to look at, and then I'm just going to echo what I see. So at the beginning of the day, we had about roughly 600 in liquidity and with Pulse, and now at the magnitude that we're at $812,000 in liquidity with one of the pairs of teddy bear and pulse. So
just
something
for
to look
yeah,
at.
and the die pair
sides,
the
only half of actual liquidity. So there's only 400,000 in Pulse. There is Teddy's. Doesn't have an actual value, right? You speak of value a lot, so I want to point this out that only half of that actually has value, and that entire wrapped Pulse pool is not burnt. That is owned by people. Is not locked.
Yeah, 100%. I agree on that point. 100%.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yes, for sure. Good thing to point out for sure. We're all hyping it up. Got to be make sure everybody knows exactly what's going on with that. But yeah, I mean, I've been hyping it up as a community pool, and it's basically 100% community run, which it is, and that's an exciting way to look at it. But the added risk is that liquidity is not locked. So that'll be a thing. But I mean, I think the cool part is the fact that there are more people looking at liquidity. Again, it just adds to that protection for the few people that do want to come out and rug, or if one of them wants to pull, that's fine. Because there's enough other people. Might sting a little bit, but there's enough other people supporting everything. So, and that's why it's just always, I always like to encourage everybody to been doing it to add liquidity in some of your favorite tokens. specifically with like the PLS pairs, right? It's got to be with tokens that have thick liquidity, because that's kind of the ones that's closer to real money. If you're just pairing it up with like Teddy and PDI, yeah, that's great. I actually like that pair a lot, but that's not like helping either one of those tokens as much as pairing it with PLS or ETH or like real die, because those are easy to offload, and you're not like draining those liquidity pools as easy as you would be with like Teddy or Die or whatever, just because those liquidity, there's not as much liquidity. So really pairing it with thick liquidity pools is the best way to help your investment, because it just, if people do want to off ramp, it's gonna make those red candles a lot less, whatever, especially if you have a good amount in supply, and every little bit adds up. If everybody was to do a small bit, I mean, we could increase the 8% up to who knows, maybe 12% or something. Just, and that's maybe a little hopium, but that's just but it's great. We've already seen it. We've been seeing it happen, and I think a lot of that is, again, kudos to Sonny and the people in the community encouraging stuff like this. And the DAI community itself, or the PDAI chart, if you look at it in the post that I just posted, if you put the click on the PDAI picture, you can see the liquidity on it literally doubled over the past 24 hours. It more than doubled on the PDAI and Teddy Bear pair. So people are figuring it out. They're adding stuff. I really like that pair, by the way, because those tokens are both very similar in the way that they're running, and they're two of my favorites in the ecosystem. Like, I'm willing to trade one for the other pretty easily. So yeah, it's just, who knows? It's exciting. It's exciting to see.
And yeah, man, you're absolutely right. Like, we saw when Pulsechain first came out, all the PRC20s were like garbage liquidity. Like, people were like, they just didn't understand it. And there's been a lot of people in the community to help guide them, and you're seeing a lot more liquid coins, and it's just what you were saying, the history of Teddy Bear and the Tropa ecosystem, and it was getting crazy at one point, where it was like you were aping like this coin that was paired to this coin. Like, people were going so deep down the rabbit hole, and it just seemed like the opportunities were endless. So people were chasing, and it kind of actually hurt the main coins. It was like, and obviously PDAI and Teddy Bear had a massive run. Atropa was a beautiful ecosystem, and then we had like CIA, like that thing pumped hard, and then it was like weird stuff was obviously a lot of people got wrecked. Like, I got wrecked on that one pretty good. I got wrecked on, I forget the other one too. I know Sonny came on Shill Tank and was like, don't even mess with it. But I mean, who knows? Everyone was just kind of gambling on the new pairs and throwing it out there. And that was kind of, and then Maria came out, and then people got wrecked on CIA, and it was like FUD. And then, I knew the ecosystem kind of had to take a back seat and chill out and like kind of cool off. And, it was holding a high market cap. That's what I love to see. It was like dipping down, but it was still, everything dipped hard, but it wasn't like going below 1 mil market cap. Like, especially with the Pulsechain being so new, and you see coins, man, like they have issues staying over 1 mil market cap, like for the most part, but these coins were holding good. The ecosystem was kind of just leveling out, and I'm glad, man. I accumulated some more, and now it's just like the whole crew, the gang's back together, and Teddy Bear's pumping. I think PDAI's gonna pump again. I think Atropa's gonna go again, and then we hear the news of potentially a white paper coming out of a layer 2, which I just saw earlier today. So it's going to get interesting for sure. But I knew deep down that like it wasn't over for Teddy Bear, PDAI, and Atropa. Like, the narrative was so good. It was just so different than anything we've seen. And obviously the community it's built, this community has gotten really strong, and a lot of people stayed loyal, like in the game, and just waited it out. And now, I think and it was a beautiful time. Like, all these coins people sacrificed millions of dollars, tens of millions, came out, and Pulsechain just dumped. Like, it looked so bad. But when everyone was hating on us, and PDAI was pumping, and everyone was so mad and fudding, and the FBI we were getting them, and Teddy Bear was pumping, Pulsechain was thriving. Like, everyone, new people were coming, and Pulse Chain was pumping for the most part. It was starting to go up. The bottom was finally in, and now I think hopefully the second time around, some of these maxis and people that were non-believers will actually maybe turn their opinion at least. I'm not saying they're going to be all for PDI and Atropa, but maybe they'll just keep their mouth shut and not FUD their own bags, essentially, and just let the layer one do its thing. Let us have our fun. Let coins and meme coins run. And you're seeing that with Solana. The founders and co-founders are supporting some of these meme coins because they understand these meme coins. People are bridging over. When you hear a coin go to $1.8 billion market cap, people making life-changing gains, millions of dollars. And now you're seeing other layer ones start to do that. And Richard Hart is watching that. So I think it's a matter of time. We heard on his video, he's like, well, maybe I'll make a JPEG meme coin. So, and maybe it's out. I don't know. But all I'm saying is I think this.
You can't just say that and then just like keep on continue. Is it already out?
I don't know.
Yeah, he said it. He did say it. He did just say that.
Maybe it's out.
I'm just playing.
Maybe it's not. I mean, we'll find out. I know the crew in this chat right here is searching, and I believe a lot of us are going to ride it up because you best believe you have $1 billion market cap, $1.5 billion market cap meme coin run on Pulse Chain. Everyone is going to be chasing, and that's the theme. I love how this narrative's going. Look at Hex. Hex didn't start pumping until after Bitcoin hit its first top and started to sell off. Like if you guys watch Sami's video, he explains that, and I knew that before. And so there's various reasons for that, but you see people right now, they're chasing
Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance chart. Just look at that.
Yeah, Bitcoin dominance is wrecked right now. It's bearish, and that's that. The more it goes down, our altcoin season will start. But I like the trend I'm seeing. People, ETH bros, everyone is chasing Solana right now. Solana's having its time to shine. That's all good. I'm happy for them. I'm personally, I bridged over. I got a one coin. I did it right. I'm not really trying to get there. I mean, we're trying to figure out what's the next coin, and smart money is doing the same thing. Then you have people chasing injection or something, and then there's all these new layer ones that people are chasing, but eventually Pulse Chain is going to have its time. And I think when people realize it's cycle one, layer one, it's on its first cycle, it will have the most room for gains, and it has one of the most built-in communities, and strong communities that are kind of cultish, but in a good way, I would say, in some ways, just not the toxic ones. But I think people are learning throughout this whole process and seeing how the trends are going. I like what I see as far as the trends right now, because it's gonna eventually be over on Pulse Chain, and we're all front running that narrative.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. That, like, I mean, just what if Pulse Chain does a Solana? Like, if Pulse Chain, wouldn't Solana do a 12x? If Pulse Chain just like does a 12x, like, geez, like, I mean, like, just think about that. Like, that is absolutely insane. I hope all you guys have some of these alts that are low market caps. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if actual real Jeet money starts coming in here, I think it's been amazing. It's almost and it's, imagine what'll happen when that happens. It's kind of wild. I mean, we kind of saw it already. I feel like we got a little taste of it when tokens originally ran up. We got a lot of fresh eyes, and I mean, they were in the top 10. I think Teddy's in the top 75, 50 maybe on a good day lately. But we were had 2 or 3 tokens in the top 10 on these screeners, and I think we're going to get to that again here soon. And so we just got to do a good job of staying active and keeping those new people in the community, showing them all the cool stuff that they can do. And we got to be prepared, because a lot of them are going to want to leave when they do inevitably go down again. So we got to have something in here to keep it moving and kind of show them, this is the only ecosystem you need, straight up. So I mean, obviously the other ones are all good for their own reason, but I mean,